Hello and welcome. I'm Thomas Porteous and you're watching NewsX World. At least one person was killed and several others have been injured when a black SUV drove into a crowd in Mannheim, Germany on Monday. The vehicle travelling at high speed ploughed into pedestrians on Planken, which is the city's main shopping street. Witnesses say multiple people were severely injured, though authorities have not yet confirmed the number of casualties. A suspect has been arrested in connection with the incident, but the police are uncertain if other individuals were involved. The vehicle was reportedly heading from Paradeplatz Square towards the city's water tower when the attack occurred. Local authorities have urged residents to avoid the city centre as a large-scale emergency response is underway. Police are continuing their investigation but have yet to release further details about the motives or any possible connections to other events. Let's now take a listen to what Stefan Wilhelm, the Mannheim police spokesperson, had to say in regards to the attack.
Gegen 12:15 Uhr kam es hier im Bereich des Mannheimer Paradeplatzes in der Fußgängerzone zu einem größeren Polizeieinsatz. Aktuell können wir schon bestätigen, dass ein Auto in der Fußgängerzone in eine Menschengruppe gerast ist und hierbei leider eine Person ums Leben kam. Weiterhin wurden mehrere Personen schwer verletzt. Wie viele und wie schwer die Verletzungen sind, dazu können wir aktuell noch keine Angaben machen.
We are joined by three guests for discussion further on this topic. We are joined by Gianni Warzecher, doctor located in Germany, an eyewitness to the Munich car running. We're also joined by Dr. Evelyn Menges, lawyer and city cooperator of the government of Munich, located in Munich. And we're also joined by Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, international affairs expert located in London. Dr. Evelyn, I want to come to you first in this discussion. This is obviously, is something that has happened before, many times before. What's the feeling in Germany right now, especially after a general election which brought hope?
Well, first of all, as I heard of this terrible attack in Mannheim, the first thing I did was call close friends in Mannheim to hear from them if they are well off. And they are well off. They stayed at home and they told me that they heard a large warning siren, a warning call to all people of Mannheim, so they stay at home. After having an attack in Munich about 10 days ago on the 13th of February, this is really, really terrible. Because the police of Mannheim said that the person they could seize probably had weapons along with him. And this does not have anything to do with the elections, because the elections are over for a week of now. This is a problem of the people coming or living in our country. And this is also a problem of either the people are seriously mentally sick or not. This really, goes to the nerves of everybody in Germany, because we're very liberal and open-hearted people. And if you can't celebrate Carnival like we are accustomed to do because you have to be afraid of assassination, this, of course, is just terrible. And I think our country is going to start to be very intimidated and is going to be a little bit drift apart from what we're used to be.
Gianni Warzecher, thank you very much for joining us. This is obviously another terrible day, another terrible attack that's happened in Germany. Can I get your thoughts on today's events and explain to me what could have been going through these people's minds? I mean, you yourself experienced one of these attacks. What was your thoughts today?
Yeah, of course, it's very difficult to say because there are not many details now of the incident, but it was around 12:15 when the incident happened. So people were probably shopping, and also we have carnival season, so all the parades and everything are ongoing. We are very lucky that there was no bigger carnival parade going on. This could have also happened, for example, in Cologne or in Düsseldorf, where Carnival is celebrated way more, on a much larger scale. So actually, we're pretty lucky that it was only like in a like smaller surrounding. But of course, the people experienced that they were like probably in panic, because you are also very unsure about the situation, because you don't know if it was an accident, if it was a terror attack or something, if it was the only incident happening that day. The people in Mannheim were warned by a security warning app that is in service in that region, where the government told them to not go inside the city center, because they don't know if the situation is still too dangerous. So I think people are always either scared, in shock, and they don't know what to do in those situations, because it's a situation you don't experience every day, you know.
Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, you join us from London, which is also a place which is no stranger to attacks. Obviously, there was a kind of similar attack in 2017 on London Bridge. How do you feel about this attack, and what do you think that Germany can do to prevent things like this consistently happening, which they seem to be?
Well, thank you very much. I think that what Germany could have done to prevent it, that time has already passed. When the war was going on, Germany opened their doors and let unvetted immigrants in droves into their country because of their good faith, which was wrong. They should have been stopped in Turkey. All the refugees should have been stopped there, and money should have been poured into Turkey to get them settled in refugee camps and hold them there till certain time that peace was restored in Syria and other neighboring countries, and then they could have gone back. But no, we let them in, and now we are paying the price. In London, when we go out, we are constantly vigilant about the cars. When we stand on a pavement, we stand quite a distance from the road, worrying that someone might drive and on the pavement.
Yes.
We might get hurt. We are always on the guard. We are not safe. We don't feel safe anymore. It's in the back of our mind all the time that someone might stab you. And I give you an example. I mean, the influx of immigrants in Britain is horrific.
Okay.
In west of London, just near Heathrow,
Yes.
there is a town called Hounslow. And in Hounslow, once I had an English friend, and I took her there and I said, you spot one white person in this heaving high street, heaving with people, I give you £5.
Okay,
She only spotted one young girl. I
Dr.
said,
Ayub,
I give you £2.50 because...
Please, I want to move on to Dr. Evelyn Menges next. How is the German public reacting to this incident in terms of sentiment, for example, fear? Are they angry? Is there calls for unity? And what ways could this public mood pressure the government or affect social cohesion in the country?
This is, of course, a very individual answer, and of course, the people are answering to this very important question differently. Many people are answering, we have a right to live like we are used to living, and therefore we're going to go back on the streets and live our lives, and we're not going to be intimidated by anybody. This is our life, this is our democratic way of life. On the other hand, of course, like Dr. Ayub Mirza said, of course you have it in the back of your mind if somebody's going to stab you or kill you. This is not only the car used as a weapon, even if you're a pedestrian and speaking to a person and telling him, please step aside, I want to pass, or please don't throw anything on the floor. I myself am always insecure if this person might or might not overreact. This is due to the situation we have. So therefore, we have to do two things. We have to be an open community. We have to be without any prejudice to anybody. That's one very important situation. We're an international society, and I want to be international society. But on the other hand, we have to have a stricter law enforcement. There are many people here without any rights being here, and Germany is only one of the few countries of the world where you can live without any rights of being in this country. So we have to be much more stricter on that issue. And on the other hand, we have to be stricter, not telling everybody of the world that this is the Garden of Eden. Germany has to thrive for its outcoming. We have a lot of hardworking people of every nationality, and we have to have a stricter law enforcement more rigidly. And I'm very sure that the new government under the postponed Chancellor Merz will be more strict about the laws. So anybody not having a right of being here has to leave the country. Everybody having a right of being here has to be welcomed. We're international, and that is very important, of course, also to the right-drifting parties of our country. Myself, I spent my childhood in the United States and in Canada. I'm an international person. I want Germany and Munich to be international, but also have a strict law enforcement.
Gianni Warzecha, I want to come to you next. These style of attacks obviously keep happening. How can we prevent car rammings like this? And do you think this incident could prompt changes in Germany's domestic security strategy or counter-terrorism policies? Do you think, as Dr. Evelyn says, do you think that police could do more, that counter-terrorism operatives could do more? What do you think about this?
I think this is a very important question, because we as the German nation and also the politics, they have to decide if they want to fight against the problem by fighting the symptoms or the reason for all the stuff. We could, of course, we can place barricades everywhere, like in Magdeburg on the Christmas market, and try to shield all our inner cities. But is this really the solution to the problem? I think, like my German interview partner here already told us, the important thing is to change our mind in a politic way. We need stronger law enforcement. We need to monitor stronger what kind of people we let in our country, and also try to re-immigrate people who don't have enough the needed rights to be here. And also we need to find a way to identify potential threats for German society.
Dr. Ayub Mirza, Germany is a liberal country, but what broader political repercussions might this incident have within Germany's domestic policies? For example, could it become a rallying point of certain parties or movements, and how should Germany's leaders respond to prevent increased polarization?
Well, first of all, each and every German political party that is serious about Germany should raise the issue of immigration. Immigration has become the cornerstone of politics across Europe, especially in the UK as well as in Germany and France. And it is for a reason. Secondly, I think that you can't, no matter how much powerful or efficient your security and police is, you cannot stop a person who has decided to drive his motor car into a crowd. You cannot do that. So Germany and Europe should have very, very robust integration programs so that those who have already arrived can be integrated into those Western societies, because they come from backward cultures, backward mindsets. Finally, I would say we should put a blanket ban on immigration that is not vetted. No more refugees, please. Just hold the refugees in the nearest country that is in the war, near the war zone. Don't bring them to Europe. You are bringing them to an alien culture they don't understand. They look at the woman, they look at our girls, they look at all the shopping malls, and they think we are all, available for them. And this has happened in Germany, where immigrants have sexually attacked our women in Europe.
Doctor.
So immigration blanket ban.
Okay, Dr. Menges, how, after this attack, how is the debate between national security and personal freedoms going to play out in Germany, do you think? And what can democratic societies learn from this situation about preserving core liberties while addressing genuine security concerns?
Well, to be frank, if I knew the answer, I would be the next chancellor. So I don't actually know the answer. It's a very, very difficult question, and any answer is simplifying the problem. We have to live on the edge of constricting our laws, but still being open-minded, open-hearted, liberal community, and that is very difficult. We have to go around without any prejudice, but be careful of whom we're looking at. And this is very, very difficult. And I hope, like my colleagues here on this interview are saying, that we're responsible enough to helping those who need our help, to have open hearts for those who need our heartfulness, but be as strict and rigorousness for those who have no right in being our community in our society. Because if we are not very strict about this issue, the atmosphere in our society will turn around, and then we will be no longer liberal. And this would be a very, very bad case.
Gianni Wojciech, I want to ask you the same question. How do you preserve Germany's core liberties while addressing the very, very real security threats?
I think we have to be very cautious to not become foreigners in our own country. So we have to find a system where we can help foreigners to take over our culture or get friends with our culture, instead of changing our own lives in order to make it possible to manage all the foreigners coming in. And I think that will be the biggest task for the new government, which we are at the moment in a kind of turnover phase. But the new government will have to figure out the way out to solve this problem.
Dr. Mirza, what steps can be taken to ensure that heightened security measures are proportionate and temporary, preventing a slippery slope that could undermine democratic values in the long term?
Well, as Dr. Menges has mentioned, there is no simple solution to this. For instance, in Britain, we have now got ghettos. I wouldn't name the religion, but everybody knows. There are ghettos of certain religious communities. You can't go in there. Nobody can go in there. There are neighborhoods from where white British people have moved out in hundreds. They have just moved out because they don't feel secure. They have so many have left Britain for other countries, like they have moved to Holland or the Balkans or Bulgaria or India or Poland. So there is no simple answer to this. What I think should be done is we should now, first of all, have a policy of no refugees should enter our countries. they should be facilitated in the countries that are bordering those countries from where they are fleeing. Number two, we should focus on the younger generation of these immigrants and try through them to create a culture where they can integrate. And as my panelist has just mentioned, that we should not feel that we are now foreigners in our own country. This is the situation in London. You come to London, it's no London anymore. It's not London anymore.
Dr. Mirza, I just wanted to ask you a follow-up question. What underlying factors might be contributing to the apparent rise in violent incidents like this? For example, extremist ideologies online, radicalization, mental health issues, or societal tensions. How can understanding these causes inform better prevention efforts?
Well, for that we have to mentally assess each individual who has been involved in these individual acts of terrorism to start with. But I think that the most important thing is for us now to work for integration of these people and stop immigration. There is no easy way. It's going to be a very, it's a generational struggle now. It's not like an overnight change is possible or in 10 years. It's a generational fight. It will take at least 2 generations before we can change everything in our favor, provided we stop asylum people coming over, this open door policy. It will now take at least 2 generations.
Dr. Menges, I want to talk about the role of the media in Germany right now. What is the role of the media playing in shaping the narrative of incidents like these, and how, and we're talking about both social media and mainstream media, and how might the way the information is reported influence public understanding and reaction to the event?
Well, first of all, as I'm speaking with you, I have my TV on, and the mainstream media now report there are 2 people who have died at the moment. 2 people. And this, of course, if that is correct, one never knows concerning medias, because they get their information from the police and police from the hospitals. But if that happens, this is just terrible. And of course, we have the mainstream medias. Most of them are with journalists from the left side of the parties, always reporting differently from medias from Switzerland, for example. If we listen to the Swiss media, they have a different access of reporting of the situations happening in Germany than our main medias. And in the social medias, of course, we have both aspects. We have those saying foreigners are the curse of all problems, which is not correct. I repeat, this is not correct. And the other one saying you don't have to look as a person, regardless if he has a right of staying or not. You have to look at the mentality and of if he's sane or insane, which of course doesn't help us either way. And therefore, like I said beforehand, it's a very, very difficult aspect, because we don't want to be prejudiced. We don't want to say everybody which has not a right of staying here is a predicted criminal. This is not correct. I definitely say this. But of course, if actions like this, terrorist actions like this appear and reappear, then the people will become prejudiced. And this is not good for our society.
Gianni Warjaka, do you think that could be slowly happening in German society? Have you seen any signs of this, of people becoming more prejudiced because of these attacks? And could sensationalized reporting or speculation about this attack and the previous ones contribute to public fear or stigmatization of certain groups?
Of course, you see it in social media. There are more and more like right-wing influencers, of course, embracing all those kind of attacks, because they can use it for the kind of message that immigration is a big problem in Germany. But also, just to be realistic, from a very neutral point of view. Of course, those incidents are getting more and more. People are in fear. They are in anger. You also, it's also visible in the government.
Yeah.
In the final results of our election this year, and I think if those incidents, if more of those incidents are happening in the near future, the next election will also be very interesting, and I think I can predict the results already pretty good.
Gianni, do you think that some of the German people are kind of resenting this liberal attitude that Germany has now? Talking about the Syrian crisis in 2015, when the party in power now, who Angela Merkel was formerly chief of, says that we can do this. Do you now think that was a mistake?
Of course, I think it was a mistake from the beginning on, because for a woman, for a very experienced woman like Angela Merkel, this sentence was pretty naive. But maybe she also couldn't anticipate all the consequences that came with this statement. And of course, I think already the mission has failed somehow, and we are now trying to save the sinking ship. And if we do not really change something right now with the future government that is currently forming, then our future might be a bit more in fear than our last years and also my childhood.
Dr. Evelyn Menge.
It's a bright sunny day. Normally people go out, celebrate Carnival, but with those incidents of the past, of course, everything is now a bit more flat, and everyone is more cautious than ever.
Dr. Evelyn Menges, do you think this is, if these attacks keep happening, this could be the end of liberal Germany, especially with the rise in the AfD party?
Well, I definitely hope not. I'm a member of the Christian Social Union, and we are a party of the people in the center of politics, in the center of the political wings, and I definitely hope not. But of course, Angela Merkel made a very, very big mistake 2015, saying wir schaffen das. We'll achieve it, we're going to do it. No, we couldn't do it. And as a member of the city parliament of Munich, I know we had a lot of problems up to this very day of giving the many people who are here, a living accommodation. And we have a lot of unemployment, and therefore we have a kind of splitted society. So our achievements must be, as a Christian social union, as well as the other democratic parties, to say we have a very great majority of voters in Germany saying we have to restrict our rules, our laws, and that's what's going to be done. It is no longer, now, one last sentence to this. For many, many years we had judges. When they had somebody who frauded a woman, vergewaltigt, at the moment I don't know the word, they just said this person cannot be responsible because it's part of the culture. Well, this cannot be the way of legal attitudes, either from judges nor from the justice system. So we have to go back to our roots, stay liberal, but enforce law.
Gianni Warzecker, Dr. Evelyn Mendes, and Dr. Amjad Ayub Mirza, thank you very much for joining us today. That's all we have time for. We will be back with more international news updates.